Okay, and do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, raise your hands. 1,
Aye.
2, 3, the minutes are approved. Okay, thank you. Suzanne, the director's report, if you would.
Good morning. I am
Good morning.
I'm in my truck, so that's why there's no video. The most exciting thing that's happening this week, aside from Toasted Jam on Saturday, is the installation of the equipment that will allow hybrid meetings, which basically is in person and Zoom at the same time. So the video coordinator for Wellfleet, JP, has promised to show me how to work it so that if we need to record a meeting, we can. I'm still waiting for the policy and procedure in writing from Town Hall about which meetings must be hybrid, which meetings can simply be in person. And when I get that, I will forward it to the board as a whole. I do know the select board is scheduled to meet in the building next Tuesday.
Oh, good.
So, yeah. There's over 40 people currently signed up for the aqua aerobics classes, and we're working out with Jenny Hosfeld, who will be the instructor, how many sessions and how many people per session. So stand by for that because it's being worked on. And right now, I believe we've cut off new admissions at 40 pending the decision on the number of classes, because it's a safety factor not to have too many people at a time in the water together with one instructor. That's Linda Balch, the outreach coordinator, has announced her retirement as of June 8th.
Oh,
So after 31 years, she will be stepping down from her position, and we will be advertising for a person to fill that position. And I think those are the two highlights of the since for our last meeting.
All right.
Oh, one more thing. I did remember one thing. The signs are physically in Wellfleet now, and we're just waiting for the DPW to carve out the time to put up the big one at the center, the less big one at the intersection of Cahoon and Old Kings, and the two smaller ones at the intersections of Route 6, Old County, and Route 6 and Cahoon Hollow Road.
okay, good.
Good.
But what about the big sign? I heard that it was going to be picked up.
Yeah, I mentioned that first, Steve. The big sign is also picked up and it is in Wellfleet, and they will be putting it up, but they have to figure out on their work schedule the time that they can do that.
Okay, so that's picked up, huh?
Yep, it's physically in Wellfleet. It's not in place, but it's in the town.
That's good.
And the Department of Public Works is just figure out when they can do it.
Yes, they have, what they do is they put it on a work schedule, and then an emergency comes and everything gets pushed aside. So we have to cross our fingers. There are no DPW emergencies, like no town buildings, self-destruct, or roads or trees or anything else.
So, but it's going to be installed soon, what you're saying.
He could not promise it for Saturday, but definitely by the end of next week.
By end of next week.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Good. All righty. Any other questions of any board members of Suzanne while she's got the floor? None. All right. I will thank you, Suzanne.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. The next report is the Friends of the COA. Sarah.
Yeah. We had a meeting last week, and Steve gave the financial report, and financially we're in good shape. If you have any questions about our finances, I'd say ask Steve, who is the treasurer. And the walking group continues to be successful, and they've added new walkers. And at this point in time, it was decided to suspend the walking group for July and August because summer is such a hectic time, and between the ticks, mosquitoes, and the tourists, it was decided to cancel the walking group for July and August and resume again in September. And We have a request for a leave of absence from one of our board members, Meredith Blakely. And we hopefully are adding some new board members. One of them is Patty Shannon, who of course used to be on the COA board, but has now considering joining the Friends. So anything else that I leave out, Laura?
Yeah,
Sarah,
it's Patty's on our board. It's Robin.
Robin
Slack.
considering,
Also,
okay.
yeah, Robin, actually, she's committed to doing it. Steve Blanchard visited and Mary Goodhouse as potential new members because we need to increase our membership.
Right, exactly.
So Steve
Okay.
Blanchard has agreed to join our board too, and I'm not sure about Mary as of yet.
No,
But Wellfleet dines out. We continue to work on that.
yeah,
letter.
well, I'm going on to that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm stopping. Go, keep going.
No, that's okay. It's fine. Oh, I just want clarification on the new members. That's all, because it wasn't, spelled right out in the notes here. So anyway, Wellfleet dines out. We were working on that. The letter was sent out to 19 restaurants and describing the new Wellfleet dines out fundraiser and benefits to both the restaurants and the COA. Wellfleet dines out will run from September 5th through October 30th, except for the Oyster Fest weekend of the 15th and the 16th of October. And starting tomorrow, actually, an FCOA board member will visit each of the restaurants and speak to them about the the participation, and we'll try to set up dates when they would like to participate in the time period from September through the end of October. And we'll also be handing out cards to the restaurants to give out to customers once we know which dates the restaurants want to participate, so everyone will know. And we set up a calendar so that only one restaurant per day would be cited as the restaurant to be visited, where the funds, whatever percentage of their funds they wish to donate, would come to the Friends of the Wellfleet Council on Aging. And so anyway, rather than, we don't want to get a week piled up with our 3 restaurants in one night, etc. So in the past, that's worked out pretty well. We just keep a calendar of dates that the restaurants want to participate. And let's see, the website. Well, that's not yet up and running. And Andrea and Terry will need more time to work on that. And and Lillian Greenberg was going to check and see how close they are to launching the website. So let's see, the new sign, you just heard from Suzanne about the new signs. They are in Wellfleet, hopefully it'll be installed by the end of next week. And the Toast and Jam concert is, of course, this Saturday, and it will be, the highlight of it will be an award presented to Sandy Wonders posthumously to her nephew for her contributions to the COA in the past. And hopefully, some of her other family members may be able to attend, but we definitely know the nephew will be coming for sure. And the plaque is engraved and ready to put back up on the wall with Sandy Wonder's name on it. We had designated her as Senior of the Year in 2019, or 2020 rather, I'm sorry. And of course, COVID came along and shut down all activity, including any presentations, et cetera, but we still all felt that Sandy's name should be on the plaque, since, it was going to be done, but unfortunately COVID interfered. So that's it. We'll be setting up for the concert at 10 a.m. on Saturday morning.
That's been changed.
Pardon?
That's been changed. I'll explain it when I give my report on
Oh,
that.
okay. All right, very good. So I think that's about it. We're going to have our annual meeting in June. And we'll also be planning a membership drive for 2022 to 2023. And other than that, I think that's about it. Did I forget anything? I hope not.
You did good. Can I just add one little thing about the annual membership drive? There has to be a quorum of at least 10 people to have that meeting count. So if any of you happen to be friends of the Wellfleet COA as well as on the COA board, if you could come even briefly to that meeting so that quorum could be met, that would be great. So that's June 8th at 1 p.m. It's at the Adult Community Center. It's okay if you can't, though, you know, I'm sure between all of us there'll be enough. Which is a Wednesday. So Wednesday afternoon. All right, that's great. Thank you.
Okay, also the other thing, Robin was asking if anyone wants to volunteer to help at Marianne's lunch on Thursday. They would more than welcome new volunteers to come and help. Attendance has increased, and so they need more hands to help out. So, so if you can, you could certainly contact Robin or Suzanne or, you know, Sally or Terry, and let them know if you're interested. So anything else on that? I don't think so.
No, you did great. That's good. Thank you.
Okay, so that's it for now. And the concert starts at what time on Saturday?
2
2.
o'clock.
2. That's what I thought. Okay. Yes.
Okay, Denya.
I
No, that's-
spaced out. What
no,
is the
that-
meeting on Wednesday at 1, Wednesday, the 8th? What is that meeting about or for, or who's running it?
It's an annual meeting, Danya, and it's for the Friends of the Wellfleet COA. Every year you have to have an annual meeting, and for that meeting, you have to have a little bigger quorum than you would for a regular meeting. So you want to invite the members, people that have become members with their $25 contribution to come and to participate. So if you happen to be a friend of the Wellfleet COA and you would have the time that day to just stop by, I'm thinking that maybe those of us that are on this board but not on the other might, you know, have an hour or 30 minutes to spend and meet the quorum.
Can I ask you about how long that meeting would be? Is it just a question?
It's an annual meeting whose main function is elect officers and directors for the coming year. Probably, as Laura said, maybe about a half an hour long for that. You know, once we have a quorum and we just do the election, then if anything else goes on, you can just leave after that.
Great, thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Judith, you're.
I'm not going to be here on Saturday. I need to know how to get the cookies
Oh,
to the right person.
great. Judith, I just sent out an email to you, but I'll just say that right now here too, because many of you or some of you are baking. You can drop them at the Adult Community Center anytime Friday or even Thursday. If Friday doesn't, if you're going to be off Cape, that would be great too. They're expecting the cookies to come, and then Friday afternoon, I'm going to be bagging them and getting them ready, and we'll be setting up the room. So anytime that's convenient for you, Thursday or Friday is perfect.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, I just, like I said, this morning, I sent out a little note to each of those lovely bakers. Thank you for being willing to bake too. I'm very appreciative.
Pleasure.
Okay, any other comments on this section of our meeting? All right, thank you, Sarah. Okay, the next is report of the Entertainment Committee.
Okay. Things are going very well. Looks like everything is fine. We have a 4-person setup group for Friday at 2 o'clock. And I have to thank Laura for all her hard work in handling the refreshment portion of the program. So all I can say on that is that see you all at 2 o'clock on Saturday, and hopefully we'll get out a big crowd. We've advertised the hell out of it. Laura did a great job in plastering the town with posters for it. We've advertised in the Independent, gotten plugs on radio because of Terry has contacted all these people. And hopefully on Friday, the Independent will run in their upcoming things for the week, a note about the concert. So hopefully we'll get a good crowd. That's
Hey,
it.
Steve. Hey, Steve. Is the setup group meeting at 2 or 4? I had 4 on my
No,
calendar.
we changed it to 2 o'clock because
Okay.
4 o'clock, there's nobody in the building. And we want to
Okay.
get those air filters and everything set up properly when people are.
Okay, I'll be there too.
Oh, you want to come? Great.
Great.
Okay,
Yeah.
lug a
Wonderful.
bunch of chairs.
Right,
Thanks a lot.
sure.
Okay, yeah, are there any other reports, updates on future events, Steve?
Oh, well, not really. I mean,
Okay.
everything is, for the other 3 concerts, all the talent that's going to appear have been well notified and have agreed. So I think we're on schedule to have a terrific season of 4 concerts.
Laura?
Great. I just wanted to say we're going to have one more board meeting next month before we break for summer. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Well, is that correct?
Yes, that's what I want to discuss. Yeah,
Okay, but my question.
I would prefer, I mean, I think traditionally we haven't had meetings in July and August, and I'd certainly rather not.
Well, I was just confirming that we will meet in June because I
Yeah.
think that there is a concert that's happening during the summer. So on that meeting, we'd have an opportunity to gather help for that too, if we need it.
That's at the, I think the last Thursday in July in the evening. That's the sing-along, the 50s and 60s sing-along.
Right, it'll be great. It'll be really a fun one. But Steve, it's a nice opportunity for us because we'll need bakers again and we'll need setup people. And once we have this meeting, we have a chance to talk to the people on the board so we can gather your support without having to call you when you're out at the beach having fun during the summer. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure we're meeting in June.
Yes, we are. We're meeting June 15th.
Okay.
Hey, Will, is there any hint of whether or not that'll be in person or Zoom?
Well, I guess it depends on if the town and Suzanne give us our blessing or their blessings. Hopefully we'll be able to meet in the flesh, and I suppose we'll have by then we'll be allowed to have a hybrid meeting.
Yeah, good, because I'm going to be in Washington then, Washington DC, but I can do it by Zoom, but not in person.
You know, I think that we'll probably be required to have a Zoom component because, you know, unfortunately, it appears that COVID's not going anywhere soon. So
It's getting worse.
Getting worse, right?
Laura,
I will be in Ireland on the 15th, but I'm going to leave all the information for what I'm asking for volunteers with Steve, who's going to be asking for volunteers too. So Steve, you'll cover that for me, right? Dania?
True.
I also cannot be at that meeting on the 15th. I'm working that day.
Yeah, good.
I was just emailing Will. Will, do you want me to still email you to tell you I can't be there on the 15th?
yeah, sure. I
All
mean, the
right.
problem is, you know, we've only got, I'll discuss that with new members, but yes, if you would, Dania, that'd be great.
Yep.
I won't be there either.
Okay, because we're getting to the point where we may not have a quorum then.
Hmm.
Hi, I left you a message a couple of days ago, I think.
What's that, Suzanne?
No, I'm sorry, that's background noise in the office. No, yeah, I'm not sure, as I said, definitely a Zoom meeting. I'm not sure if it's gonna be hybrid because I'm not sure of the protocol. The only room you can do it in is the big room, and if there's an activity scheduled in there on the 15th at the same time, it would be a conflict. So
Okay, all
let's
right,
stand by and see what they tell me how it's gonna work.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
Laura, you can't make it on the 15th, you say?
Oh, no, we'll be in Ireland for just
Okay.
almost the whole month. So not the whole month, but
All
several
right,
weeks.
well, then, this may be our last meeting till September. Because if you can't make it, and Judith can't make it, and Denya can't make it, we're
I
not
can't
gonna
make it either.
have a quorum.
Brian
Hey.
as well.
But we can still, we'll make sure that the one way or another, that we have enough volunteers to pull off the,
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, we can, our committee, which is just is, that's not great phraseology. Anyway, is Laura and Denya and me, we could get together and do the planning and ask people for volunteers. So I think we could handle that without having them have to have a full meeting in June.
Now, that's the one you're gonna be using.
okay, all right.
However, just for
Okay, then the next item on the agenda is just new members. I'm just putting it out there again, that the actions that the select board intended to take to reduce the number from 11 to 9 was of no force and effect, because it's in the bylaws that it has to be 11. And and what they did, they don't have the power, I guess, to unilaterally amend the bylaws. So we're back to 11 with a quorum of 6. And we only have 8 members sitting now. So if any of you have thoughts on folks that might want to join us, and obviously part of the problem is that people have conflicts and can't make it. There's just that, we have problems with the quorum, which looks like what we're going to have in June. So, if any of you have any thoughts on it, let me know. All right, Steve, do you have anything to report on the elder services?
Yes, just 1 second, I'm making a note here. For a minute. Okay, elder services. All right, I attended the annual meeting and was elected to the board as the Wellfleet representative. I have to say it's a very impressive organization. First of all, they were extremely welcoming, and the woman who's the CEO and the woman who's the chairman of the board both told me they were very happy to have a Wellfleet representative on the board. So, I mean, it was a welcoming environment. There were about 150 people attended the annual meeting, which I thought was pretty amazing. It was held in one of the resorts in Hyannis. And I returned with their annual report. And this probably is not the time to do, I know it's not the time, it's be too time consuming, but they offer a tremendous array of services. I mean, it's very impressive what they offer. They have a fairly large staff. Plus, they have all sorts of adjunct people that work on also things from financial to psychological to health to everything you can imagine. And it covers, by the way, both all the Cape and the 2 islands. And I sat next to the representative from Nantucket, who had to take get up at 5 in to catch an early boat to make the meeting. So they're dedicated people. I think at some point we should take a look at all that the organization has to offer and see where we could benefit from it and where we can use these services, because they're very broad and it's backed up by a very extensive staff. So I think frankly, I think it's a positive thing that we could get involved in this, because it's something that is a major organization for the COAs all over the Wellfleet and Elricks, and all over the Cape and the islands. So that's basically my report.
Okay. Laura,
All right, mine is separate and different. And it's just a quick one. I know Judith, last meeting we had a wonderful suggestion about a musical playground. And I didn't know whether any meeting had taken place with Suzanne. Yeah, how'd that go? What is there a?
Well, I met with Suzanne and I was actually able to download the pictures.
Great.
And then she found some on a website, which were more modern looking. The ones that I saw were, a lot of it was made out of wood with bits of
Right.
metal. So there are lots of choices and probably lots of prices. And Suzanne was enthusiastic about how this would be very good for people with memory problems.
Yeah.
And I think it's also a way to bring young people to interact with older people. So I think it's a win-win. We'd have to do some fundraising or grant writing, she said, to get money for it. But she was enthusiastic,
Right.
and I'm really excited about it.
Oh, I'm really glad for that. Is there any ballpark figure? I mean, just I know you probably don't know, but is that like a?
I have no idea. I have no idea. And I think it depends on how many you have. And then I happened to get something on YouTube or Facebook or something of a bunch of African children. I'm not sure what country they were from. They were all on xylophone kinds of things, which is what these things are. And they were playing Vivaldi, and I've never,
Oh,
I was moved to tears, and I'm not moved to tears.
oh
easily.
gosh.
It was
Yeah.
just something.
Great. That gives me.
Virginia.
I'm going to volunteer my friends to do a benefit for this. If we can do it at the COA or I'm sorry, at the WAC or at the library. I can't imagine that the local musicians would not be interested in each coming and doing a couple of tunes, and we charge whatever, we can make it a sliding scale donation. It would be really helpful to get the range of the prices for something reasonable, not the fanciest and not the cheapest. If somebody could do a little investigation on what, is this something you buy as a whole piece and you just install it, or how does that, do you have any idea?
I think that you probably buy it and then you have to install it.
I think it would be very useful to have some ballpark figure on, are we talking about $500? Are we talking about $3,000? Because it's not that hard to organize a benefit, especially because we have all these musicians in Wellfleet and the surrounding towns, I think, who would jump right in to be part of this.
Laura.
Will, could I?
Suzanne.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I looked, after I met with Judith, I got all excited and I looked online, and she's right. There's a range of different machines. I guess they're machines, they're instruments. And most of them, from what this is preliminary, they're purchased from and installed by the company. And some of the companies have people who will talk to you about your needs, your space, and what they recommend for that space. So I think it's worthwhile starting the investigation, but I would like to ask the board to agree on a visual, like what kind of instruments are they think are the most visually appropriate for Wellfleet and for our needs. They range from $3,000 to $7,000 per instrument.
Wow.
Per instrument?
Yes, ma'am.
No, I'm sorry. I just said no because I'm sure there's another way to do this.
Well, that's my other thing. It's just if we go through the companies, but we have to do further research. Maybe somewhere out there, there's templates and patterns, and we could not only to raise the money locally, but pay a local craftsperson to construct them and
So-
install them.
Can you, because I have no idea where to start, and also I'm still moving, can you send out to any of us who are interested some of those websites so we can have a
Sure.
sense? And Judith, did you actually saw this somewhere? I forget where.
Yeah, I saw it in Utah, which is obviously a much drier climate. So they could do a lot of wooden instruments.
Any chance we can get a photo of that?
Oh, yeah, I have it on my phone.
Great.
Judith,
And
do you,
pass
if you,
that stuff around so we get, let's be creative about this, 3,000 to 7,000 per instrument.
Wow.
I'm sorry, right off the top of my head, I said, no, we don't do that. We get our local people to get involved, like those Leathers playgrounds where you get a whole bunch of local people to help build it.
Yeah, like Turo.
Laura?
I'm sorry, I just blurted. I totally agree with you. It's like Puma Park that was built by families and people and teachers that worked at. So I agree. I have a question for Judith, though. Where you saw that, was that incorporated with anything else, like a children's playground or a walking path? How was that presented?
It was next to a playground.
Okay.
So the playground had a fence around it. And this area does not have a fence around it,
Okay.
but clearly kids or adults could go back and forth.
Yeah.
It was a school day so there weren't any kids.
That's great.
Son.
And I agree. I think that would just bring, if we had that on the grounds, that would bring so many people onto the ACC grounds and encourage people to use the building. And maybe we could incorporate it with a walking path, which has been kind of in a plan for us as well.
That
So
would be very cool.
anyway, just an idea.
Be nice to
Daniel.
have some for people who aren't mobile and maybe some on the walking path for people who are mobile. I
Absolutely.
think Suzanne made a really good point about how,
I can't hear Judith. Judith, can you get closer?
okay,
Or
sorry.
turn your volume up.
Can you turn,
Okay,
and-
is that any better?
yell?
A little better. Yep.
I'm sorry, I don't talk very loudly, but I'll try. It's really good for people with dementia to have music. Anything that's sort of out of the ordinary stimulates them, and or us, whoever. And I don't want to say other, but I think you need enough of them that it has an effect, that people can go from one to another and hear the differences and see the differences, and so that it's both visually and auditorily and whatever the word for brain is, mentally stimulating in different ways. So yeah, I think it's an exciting idea.
Yeah.
Daniel, you had your hand up a while ago.
Yeah, my hand was up because I can't hear Judith.
Oh, okay.
And the fact that Judith and I walk a lot and we've never discussed this, or maybe once. So when you come back, Judith, I'd love to. And anybody who has any websites or ideas, or I don't know whether everybody is interested in this or only a small group of us. I know Steve would be interested because he's a musician. So
Was a musician. But I'd be
always
happy
a
to help
musician.
out.
You
Yes.
can't unmusician yourself. So any information I would be happy to look at, and because I have no idea. I've seen on not websites, on Facebook, some examples years ago of this, and just people playing all these instruments. It was thrilling, but a long time ago.
Tell me something. Are these all wooden instruments?
No. So
I mean, couldn't you get, for example, there's all sorts of older instruments that you can get, trumpets, trombones, saxophones. I mean, a zillion things very
Can't do those.
cheaply. And if you know, I mean, the only wooden instrument I could think of would be a marimba or a xylophone or something like that.
were wooden with metal parts. So the things you banged on, some were wooden and some were metal.
Yeah, but what about all the wind instruments? Their
You
kids
can't have people playing wind
Right.
instruments. You
Okay,
can't have people blowing
stop it.
into things.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I forgot about that. You're not
Oh,
allowed to
yeah.
blow into things.
Laura,
Oh, no, Sarah's got her hands up, not me.
I mean, Sarah,
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. Coming from a family of musicians and wind instrument players, no way would someone with dementia be able to handle that. I think we're looking more at percussion type instruments, drums, tambourines, xylophones, marimbas, that kind of thing. with
Keyboard.
and keyboard, yeah, electronic keyboards or other keyboards.
I'm sorry.
So, yeah, definitely. So, but no, I can't see wind instruments or any complicated or fiddles or anything like that, or cellos, forget it, you know.
Well, you can get a lot of cheap used drums. So that's one thing that I know. You could buy a lot of them, and you don't have to pay $3,000 to $7,000
Oh,
for a set
no,
of drums.
absolutely
You know,
not.
and some old cymbals. I mean, those are things
Oh,
that
yeah,
people can bang
cymbals
on. You
and
know, they could get.
tambourines and, you know, little drums and things like that are all great. I mean, even my daughter's new trombone didn't cost $3,000 to $7,000. So,
I could even give drum lessons. If you'd
yeah.
like.
Judith,
I think what I should do is show the pictures to Will, and maybe Will can send out the pictures to.
Okay,
I'm not sure I'm doing a good job of explaining what they look like.
No, you,
that's fine. Send those to me if you would, Judith, and I'll forward them around.
good. It's a great idea. So,
absolutely.
yes.
Wonderful.
All right. Suzanne, are you still there? Nope, skipping
Yes,
on.
I'm here. I'm here.
I had a question.
Sure.
If my memory serves me correctly, I thought that the state was supposed to have updated the handbook for at COA and advisory board sometime in March. Or
Yeah, it
am I?
hasn't appeared yet.
Oh, okay, that's all I'm asking. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Actually,
you.
the COA director in Provincetown, Chris Huddle, is on that subcommittee. So
Oh.
she keeps us advised, and she's, feeling frustrated that the date keeps getting pushed back, but she's
Okay,
keeping us updated.
okay, great, thank you.
That's good.
Okay, now, so we've dealt with the July and August, so does anyone else have anything else to add before I conclude the meeting? No, okay. Well, the next meeting, hopefully, we'll see if anything changes. I'll keep it on for June 15th, but I will let you know if we're not going to have that once I, once that date nears, in case there's been a change of plans for anybody. All right, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Judith, and a second. No second, so we'll just have to meet. Sarah seconds it. All right, all in favor? Aye,
Aye.
aye, aye. All right, thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Brian, thank you. Thank you
Oh,
for the
you're
information. That's great. I'm so excited to be
Okay.
going, and that's really helpful. We've got 4 days there in Dublin, so we're going to eat well every night. So
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right,
Good.
bye-bye.
See you Friday, Laura, too.
oh, great. Thank you so much.
Give you some-
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.